pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we have roll call, please? Mr. Baker.
Here.
Mrs. Green.
Here.
Mr. Francis.
Here.
Mr. Hoff.
Here.
Mr. Hoover. Mr. Hoover.
He wasn't.
He was on the other one. We get a hold of Rick yet?
It's fine.
He's coming in.
Mr. Hoover. Mrs. Irwin Adams.
Here.
Mr. Johnston.
Here.
Mr. Cruz.
Here.
Dr. Malloy.
Here.
Mr. Hoover.
Here it is.
Rick?
Mr. Hoover.
I'm here.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks for letting me in.
Okay, I would like to announce that we had an executive session this evening, starting at 5:30 p.m. for reasons of personnel. Hearing from citizens.
We didn't know
No.
calls today.
Okay. Moving on, a presentation by Andrew Neely, The Last Full Measure.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for having me here this evening. I'm going to share with you a project that was completed by two of our social studies teachers at the high school last year with their students. 7 sections of academic American history, and two of our teachers, Mrs. Carolyn Klein and Mr. Jim Lowe, took a project-based learning experience for their students to create what in the end turned out to be this product, which is a catalog of all of the veterans from the Altoona area who gave the last full measure, gave their lives during World War II. Pretty amazing product. It was part of our project-based learning initiative that we started at the high school a couple of years ago. And the students, they used primary source documents, many of which were either online or old newspapers, old Altoona Mirrors that they were able to find online to research and document every single veteran, to our knowledge, that passed away, that was killed in action during World War II. So pretty amazing project. As you can tell, it's pretty hefty. It was quite an undertaking for the teachers and the students. And I'm going to share this with you. I just wanted to read so you get an example of one of the soldiers that they highlighted in this book. So you just get a sense and a feel for what they were able to accomplish. So this is the story of Private First Class Frank J. Casso. Frank J. Casso was born on January 12, 1916, to Giuseppe Joseph and Jessamina Josephine Carino Casso of 1417 Walton Avenue in Altoona, PA. He attended Roosevelt Junior High School and was a member of Mount Carmel Catholic Church. Casso was from a large family with 6 siblings, 3 brothers and 3 sisters. All 3 brothers were also in the service during the war. Casso voluntarily entered the U.S. Army in January of 1941. He trained at Fort Sam Houston, Texas, Camp McCoy, Wisconsin, and Louisiana before going overseas, landing in September of 1943. After first arriving in Ireland, he completed additional training in England in preparation for the invasion of France. Casso was assigned to the 38th Infantry Regiment, 2nd Infantry Division. Private Casso landed in France one day after D-Day on June 7, 1944. While serving with the infantry, he was consistently in combat until he was wounded in the right leg by shrapnel on July 28th. He was sent to a hospital in England to recover and rejoined his company on September 4th. Casso was reported as missing in action in Belgium on December 17th, 1944, during the opening of the Battle of the Bulge. His last letter to his family was dated December 10th and stated that he was in Germany. It was later determined he was killed in action near the Ellsbourne Ridge. Casso was buried in the Henry Chappelle American Cemetery and Memorial in Belgium. A memorial to Casso and other Italian Americans from Altoona who were killed during World War II was built in Calvary Cemetery in Altoona. And there's a picture of the memorial, and then also Private Casso's gravestone in Belgium. So, and that's just one. The book is filled with the same level of information about each of the people that gave their lives in World War II. An amazing product that our students were able to put together. You know, to me, this is, you know, to be able to tie something like World War II back to our local history is just amazing. I want to applaud the teachers and the students for their effort. And this is available for purchase. We have copies in our library. It's a pretty, I think, spectacular project that the students were able to involve themselves with and come out with a pretty amazing product in the end. So happy to answer any questions. Just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of it because I think it's pretty amazing.
How many stories like that are in that book?
You would ask the hard question, wouldn't you, Mr. Francis? Each one's about 2 pages.
I don't know, do you have like how many?
I
Like
don't-
100 or 200 or?
How many is it?
376.
376.
Wow.
Thank you.
And you
Hey,
say that
it's-
it's, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's for sale? Who would they contact to purchase that?
So I have a couple flyers here. They went with the publishing house that was able to get it for $40. And there's really, you know, that's pretty much the cost of the publication. I have this form here I can pass around.
If you would, I would like.
You know what? I'll get copies. Make sure the board, every member of the board has a
Okay,
copy of it.
great,
Or-
great.
Or the-
On our website, on our homepage, the book is listed there, and there's a link to the order form.
Are the relatives of fallen soldiers notified that the stories are in the book? That,
They contacted a lot of the.
so they realize that this book is out and they know that
And-
they can
Yes.
get
It's
it.
also going to be a featured article in the Mirror coming up.
That's what too bad we're in this situation where they couldn't really come and be
Yeah.
congratulated for such good work.
Yeah, they did an amazing job. It's a pretty, I think it's, you know,
I think it's
kind
pretty
of
nice.
chokes me up just to even read it.
Yeah,
So,
that's very nice.
It's remarkable. What grade are the kids in that take American history?
typically 11th grade.
Okay.
It's very nice.
Andy, I was listening to a seminar at Penn State Altoona, professor, and his last name was Frederick. I believe it was Jared Frederick. And I said, who was your history teacher in high school? And he said, Mr. Lowe. And I said, so we got a great history teacher here, you know. So I just wanted.
We have a great department for sure. And Mr. Lowe's certainly a big part of that.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Sure.
Send me the PDF of the order form. I'll make sure it goes out to the board.
Perfect. We can pass it around too.
Okay,
Like,
thanks.
I know you got other stuff, but
Okay,
This is
thank
really-
you.
Wow, this is big. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Okay, moving on. Can I get a motion for the regular minutes of 9:21 and special board minutes of 10:05?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item is construction change orders. Can I get a motion
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions?
Mr. President, I have a question. Is our architect getting 5% interest off each one of these change orders in his contract? You know, can someone tell me that?
They're not charging a fee based on change order.
He's not charging a fee in change. Okay.
But if it comes out of the allowance, he did.
So
If it comes out of the allowances, he has received a portion of the allowance.
Right. So if it comes out of the allowance, he does get 5.7%.
5.7.
Do we lose the allowance if we don't use it all?
No. No, it'll come back to us.
So then, should we be changing everything back to just change orders instead of out of the allowances?
You're still gonna have, he's still gonna get his 7%, his 5.7% fee. Because his contract was based on a contract with the allowances in
Oh, I
it.
missed it. So we're paying him 6.2 million already, then he's getting 5.7 on top of these.
Well, we know how much the
Change.
total allowances are, correct?
Right. But that, again, that was part of the contract.
I know, I'm just saying, we know what it would be
Can't believe I missed
if you wanted to figure it out.
Okay, I have a question on change order 299.
Gary?
Was the,
Yes, I'm here.
so the electrical contractor was instructed to install the lights in one location, and now they're taking those lights out and putting them in another location?
Yes, sir.
What was the reason they weren't installed at the correct location the first time?
Let me look at that real quick. 17. There was an ASI 55 to relocate the tormentor lighting bars to accommodate the revised maple panels. And then that ASI actually gave incorrect. So that is an architectural error. So they were installed at the height that they were instructed. And then when the maple panels alignment came around, they realized that those needed to be moved. And I believe there was that was one of your questions, I believe, that I responded to this morning. You had the architect's response on it. I don't have that in front of me, but.
And when the panels came, that's what change order 297, then they had to remake the panels.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Then they'll, change order 298. Did the electrical contractor give the money back in the original change order for deleting the casework?
No, there was no credit on that. Again, the response that was sent to you this morning under question, the electrical engineer had explained all that.
Okay, I'll look at that.
Okay, that actually, the work that they were supposed to perform on the original drawings still had to be done the same amount. And then there were some added on that. Again, I don't have that. I don't have his email in front of me, but I sent you back the response this morning to the questions that you had.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm an aye, but I'm opposed to the 5.7% that comes out of the allowance for the architect.
Okay.
Okay, Mrs. Bream. This is Gary still. So we'll let the board know that we did receive a verbal temporary certificate of occupancy for the B building today. That we can bring teachers back in on starting next Monday. I'll be picking up that permit tomorrow, but I got a verbal today. We did get our permits for both elevators today also. So starting Monday, we can occupy the building with teachers. We still have some construction going on. Things are changing daily. So we are getting there, but we can bring teachers in starting on Monday.
Okay, thank you for that information and that update. Okay, moving on. Finance. List of payments, financial reports, and AMED contract athletics. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Policy, quite a few policies here. Altoona Area School District Policy, first and final reading. Altoona Area School District Policy, Administrative Regulations. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Education. Volunteers. Special Education Performance Grant 2020 to 2021 and revised Ignite Agreement. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Personnel. There's only just the personnel items. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns?
I just have a question. Is there a reason for the leave of absence? We don't put the names. Is that just for?
Privacy.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to student services. P2G Year 2 Contract, Blair Therapies Agreement. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Business operations, repository bids, capital reserve list of payments, tax collection agreements, winter sports equipment bid, capital projects list of payments. Okay. Request for proposal and custom LED ticker display. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Second.
Questions, comments?
I have a question about 1104,
Okay,
and it's just looking at the list that we were provided. The math looks off when you first look at it. So if you look, for example, at basketball scorebook from Sportsman in the last section there, 9 at 1107, and it's 3321, which is 3 3-packs. I'm guessing. So my comment would be, at first glance, that kind of set off an alarm for me. It'd be nice if it actually said lot of 3 or pack of 3. There's a lot on here that are lumped together, like shirts for $97, but there's 4 shirts, but it's not 4 times, 20 some dollars. It's $97. The other thing that I would personally like to see is another breakdown of this list by sport, just to have an idea where this stuff is going. There's nothing here other than BB, I'm assuming would be basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know where the whistles are going. I don't know who's getting the sack packs. It's really lacking in specific detail, which concerns me.
Would be a bad idea. I'm with you on that.
so you would like some more detail going forward?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but
Okay.
going forward, it would be helpful to have it by sport. And also, if it's a multi-pack, I think that should be indicated that it's a set of 3 or a pack of 4 or what have you.
Okay,
That would be very helpful in making sure the math is right.
okay. Is that something you want to bring up with the athletic committee, Ron?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I would.
Any other questions?
On 1103, is that what we argued about last year on all these taxes or no?
This is an agreement with Logan Township. Is it correct as a Logan or is it?
It says Logan.
Logan.
And the reason we're doing it this way is the city is locked into so many years with Burke County. And if the city and county were talking about making some changes to how we do the collection, And the city is locked into who they're using. We're locking Logan in for the same period of time so that we can, so if we're gonna make a change, we make the change at the appropriate time where we can line it up.
Now, the Blair County one, is this the one that last year was a percentage rather than a flat fee?
Correct. A request began, we awarded a flat fee.
Right. So we've agreed to that this year because we didn't agree to it last year.
We did a percentage last year, we're proposing to go to a flat fee, which is consistent with the electric tax budget.
Right. Correct. Any other questions?
One about 1107. So it says reimbursement we made from the foundation. So funding was secured for that board. It's good to go. Okay, thank you.
On 1105, I'd just like to say that I didn't realize this till recently that EADS got paid separate on this building project and it didn't run through KCBA, so I don't agree with that.
So you're going to be a no on that. Do you?
Well, no, I've been a yes all along. They're almost paid off, but I just didn't know that that was the case. I don't know why EADS got a separate contract to do the land development at the school when it should have run through KCBA and through the whole. I just disagree with it.
Okay. Any other comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. New business. Supplemental work affidavit, final, September 22nd, 2020. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
I'll second it. Any questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next two items, side letter of agreement and addendum, and the space capsule. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
I'll second it. I do have a question. When are we getting the space capsule?
We don't know yet, we're working on it, we're finalizing. Once we get the curriculum finalized and we have a meeting, then we'll be able to put that, to bring that to the board. We're working on it. We'll wait to see when this.
Sounds like it's going to be very interesting. I am looking
right now
forward to
it's-
seeing that. I
Right
really
now
am.
it's on display on Logan Boulevard.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
In the front guy's front yard.
Guy's front
Okay.
yard with his whole wing decoration.
I think his wife really goes up and see if he's a
To us. Okay.
Oh, it's getting a lot of action on Logan Boulevard.
We're out on Logan Boulevard.
It's down towards Walgreens.
Okay, I'll have to look for it. Yeah, I'm
I mean, on the
excited.
same side as Walgreens and down towards that last block before that, like before that rental car place. So.
Okay, I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see that. That should be interesting. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
This also, this includes the ESS then for a home. Correct?
Extension personal days.
Does everybody understand? Because we are, so we have the flexibility to provide homebound instruction when we don't have teachers. We go to our teachers first, but for some reason we don't have teachers who are willing to do it. We have to make sure we provide homebound instruction.
That's on there. Should I have announced that separately?
Just want to make sure everybody's aware that's part of it.
It was one of the side letters of agreement and
Right.
addendum. Okay. All in favor?
Sorry.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Any comments from the superintendent?
I want to say thank you to the faculty and the staff. This has been definitely different start to the school year. A lot of hard work putting things together, and I appreciate everybody's help in making all these pieces come together and function the way they are, as well as they are. To the teachers that are doing the virtual, I understand the craziness of pulling that off and making that happen, and the teachers that are in the classroom. I understand the stressors we're dealing with as we go through the compression process, and I appreciate everyone's help and dedication to making this year effective.
Thank you.
Madam President, could I make a comment from the Finance Committee?
Certainly. That was going to be my next thing, any committee reports.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, the Finance Committee has met and we discussed many issues, mainly looking at our budget in terms of expenditures and revenues. But another big item that was discussed was the sale of the former Kimmel building and the idea that these revenues would be once and done revenues. In other words, the money we receive from that will not see in our budget again next year. It's once and done. So those kinds of money typically are placed into the capital reserve. It's funding that we can use for building projects. We cannot use it for general fund expenses. And I think there's quite often confusion when we're looking at the school district. Yes, our biggest expense item would be our personnel, salaries and benefits. But we also have out of that $110 million budget, other expenses. We have to replace roofs on buildings. We have to do steps. We have to do many capital projects that just are required to be done for the safety and welfare of the kids in the community. And one of the projects that we need to look at would be Mansion Park. And these monies would come out of the capital monies. They would not come out of general funds. So the public, the district, everybody has to realize that when we talk about these projects, it's all part of the 110 million, but it's out of our capital monies that we use for these kinds of projects. So just so that's a clarified item for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other committee chairs have anything to report?
Yeah, community outreach. Just want to touch on two things. Spent the past week, last week, reading letters from our faculty. Very, very glad to do that. Very proud of our faculty stepping up, writing letters, showing our involvement, their involvement in the process. Very in-depth writing as their questions, comments, and concerns moving forward, especially during this virus. Very proud of the teachers getting very involved. And the good work they're doing out there is much appreciated. And any teachers that want to write me or call me anytime, I know I'm available for that. I might not always have the answer, but I will send you in the direction to get the right answer. One more thing, it's a little thing, but someone's been calling me on this one, and I know it's wrong, but I just need to hear it. We keep getting this, for some reason, people are assuming our school project is $25 million over budget. Could we please clarify that that is an absolute rumor and a fabrication?
The building project came in approximately $1.3 million under budget. Board added in about $700,000 worth of additional work. So the building project actually is $600 and some thousand under budget. And then we still have a contingency fund of approximately $700,000 and allowances and some other unused money. So we're definitely under budget.
Thank you for that. That needed clarified. The people who have been questioning me about that, we're going to watch tonight. And thank you for that clarification. So at this point, the project nearing completion, we are actually under budget.
Right.
Thank you.
And to be totally clear, any money that we don't spend for this project will need to be spent on capital improvements.
Correct.
Thank you for that, Frank.
The bonds, legally, we are bound to spend any of the bond money on capital improvements in a certain time frame, or we'll be found to be in violation of arbitrage laws.
Okay, any other committee reports? I want to thank all of our teachers and all of the hard work they've been doing with our students since they've been back during these difficult times. I know it's not fun, but please hang in there and hopefully things are going to get better. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Anything else for the good of the order? Meeting adjourned.